It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Bahamas at Sunrise. We are so joyful to have you join us this morning, dead early on this fantastic Friday. My name is Mark Daniels.
And good morning. My name is Patricia Bethel, and I'm your guest host for today.
Good morning, Patricia. It's so wonderful having you on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me too, Mark.
Yes, you're brightening up the show. You're bringing the sunrise on the set.
I mean, it's only worth it, right?
Exactly.
With all the bad weather outside, you have to bring in the little sun.
Take the sun where you go with you, right? I love it. So, Patricia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a bit out of my depths here. Usually I'm an attorney.
Oh.
So different forum, but very, very happy to be here. You know, I like to talk for a living, so this is good.
Yeah, talking under pressure. Somebody is writing down every single word that you say, you know?
Exactly.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're here. You get a break from your day-to-day and be up with us dead early. I don't know if court starts at 6 a.m., but...
Oh, no, definitely not.
You look court ready, so that's good. That's good. Well, you know, it's been a good week. We've had some rain. We've had, you know, some activity in the news. Before we go further, I just want to send a shout out to my family and all the friends and loved ones of my sister, Janina Noel Daniels Harris. She passed away 3 years ago from cancer. Yesterday, we celebrated her transition. And anyone who's gone through loss, you know, the sting never really goes away. The pain goes from probably a sharp pain to a dull pain. You learn how to live with it. But what are the lessons you learn from the loss of a loved one? And that is, make sure to live every day like it's your last. Don't hold on to petty grudges. That family member, that person that you're not speaking to for whatever reason, pick up the phone and call them. That new thing that you wanted to try but you never felt you had the confidence to do it, go out and try it. Step out of your comfort zone, touch someone's life. You never know how it's going to impact your life or their life going forward. So in memory of Nina, go out and be bold this weekend, share a laugh, talk to some good friends. We love you, Nina.
May she continue to rest in peace.
Hey, rise in power. Now I get this frog on my throat. We're going to have a great show for you today. We're going to find out what the Department of Gender and Family Affairs is doing this month in our Bridging the Gap segment. And we're also going to have Zhivargo Laing join us to give us his take on the FTX collapse.
We're also going to be talking to Andrea Major from the Bahamas Historical Society, and we'll hear from Doctors Hospital about what they're doing to train the next generation of specialists to grow their own locally.
Oh,
But first, let's check on the weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Patty J. Welcome to the show, and good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather at sunrise, we have a frontal boundary just south of New Providence, and that's going to move north and south over the next couple of days, causing some cloudy periods with some showers and possibility of thunderstorm. High pressure builds behind that system, so you have a breezy weekend in store weather-wise. Weather today, variable cloudiness, but breezy. You can expect a few scattered showers, maybe a nice little thunderstorm. Your high temperature 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, still a bit breezy on the mild side, and yes, there's a chance of a few nighttime showers or thunderstorm. Your low temperature going down to 71 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 86 and 77. In Jamaica, 88 and 78. In Trinidad, 89 and 74. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 87 and 73. Across North America, Atlanta, 51 and 33. In Raleigh, 51 and 31. In Miami, 78 and 72. Dallas, Texas, 52 and 32, and Toronto, Canada, 35 and 25. As you go to the weekend, it's on the wet side, variable cloudiness with a few showers, possible thunderstorms, particularly late Saturday into Sunday. The temperature daytime will be in the mid-80s. At nighttime, in the lower 70s. You in Freeport could get some upper 60s. That puts a wrap on your first look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Patty J.
Thanks, Godfrey. The Department of Gender and Family Affairs is dedicating an entire month of activities to building and strengthening the family. Here to tell us more are Sharon Martin, Consultant Advisor at the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development, and Ms. Melvelyn Symonette, the First Assistant Secretary at the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Ms. Bethel. Good morning.
And welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you.
So, tell us what we're celebrating this month and what the history is behind the women's suffrage movement.
So let's start with the history behind the women's suffrage movement and move right into why we're celebrating. So we're celebrating the 61 years of women being entitled to vote and exercising that vote. So in 1961, they would have gotten the right to vote. In 1962, they would have exercised the right to vote, giving us 60 years. The women's suffrage movement, of course, is just one of the wonders of the Bahamas as it was in the world. And women were disenfranchised back then. I dare say there are some aspects that still lingers and that we have to smoothen out and that we're working on. But the disenfranchisement led to a group of women getting together and saying things need to change. Of course, it started with Mr. Ingram losing the election, Mary Ingram's husband, and him losing the election and realizing that if women voted, I would have won. And so his wife took it on as a cause, got her friends together, and the rest is history.
So I think that's a fantastic story. Why do you think it's important now in 2022 to bring and shed light to that?
Let's go back in history a bit. As I said, 1962, women exercised the right to vote. But do you know when a woman sat in the House? 20 years later, 1982, when the Right Honorable Dame Janet Bostwick became a member of Parliament.
Right.
So now, 60 years later, we only have 7 women in the House. Women are the majority in the Bahamas, and we're still saying the same thing the suffragettes said. We're the majority, but why is it that our voice is not the majority in a place where decisions are made regarding women all the time? And so we have to bring it forward. We have to highlight it. And the last thing on that is the legacy. The women who worked then, their children and grandchildren are alive. And history is still alive. And we ought to know them. We ought to know what their parents or grandparents would have done and why we're here today. Yes.
Those are very, very fundamental points. So tell us, what are some of the events that you are hosting to commemorate this?
Well, I'd be happy to share that. We are quite excited, actually. Backtrack a bit. The Department of Gender and Family Affairs is that government department that has responsibility for promoting women's issues. We are now a Department of Gender, so we promote both men and women's issues. But of course, there's special focus on the women's suffrage movement and women, of course. So some of the events that we have planned cater to the entire family. We've had an exhibition featuring some of the suffragettes that Mrs. Martin talked about. And it's in downtown, so everybody can go and see. Some of the other initiatives are a TikTok initiative, and the details about that is that we want persons to just say who their shero is. We're celebrating women. We want the whole country to celebrate women wherever they are, whether in the church circle, whether they're in their businesses. Wherever you are, you can celebrate the women in your life. And so we're encouraging the entire Bahamas to do that. Celebrate women.
I think that's such a fantastic tagline, Shiro. That's amazing. So can you also tell us some of the people who are involved in this initiative?
We have NGOs. The department normally partner with the NGO community, civil society, because it's a partnership between the government and non-government. And we are very happy that they're always on board every year. They're there in the planning, in the execution. So we're happy about that. The churches, we have a church service coming up on this Sunday. It's going to be at Evangelic Temple on Collins Avenue, so inviting the entire country to come out and join us. Family Island churches will be a part of it as well, celebrating on the same day, worshiping wherever you are. If you can't find a church building, find a tree, almond tree, just worship God on that Sunday.
That's fantastic. Now, going back to you, Ms. Martin, and just speaking about all the history that you led us through, how far do you think we've come because of the women's suffrage movement?
Well, first I think, humble opinion, that we have come a long way. We have done some fantastic things as women. The exhibition that Ms. Symonette refers to also features what we call first. Women who have in their own field, their own industry, would have been the first female pilots, the first, we have 3 women who are captains, Bahamas Air captains. And so we would have featured them. And it's exciting to go downtown and see just how far we have come as a nation. We're putting a woman in space. So we have come a long way, baby, like the slogan said.
I know, and that is an amazing, incredible accomplishment. That said, what do you think are some of the problems that women are typically facing right now in our community?
Well, violence and harassment in the workplace is one. Domestic violence is very prevalent. Unfortunately, I would love to just talk about Sand and Sea, but we are #1 in the region when it comes to rape, and that is very unfortunate. There is the whole idea of education. We are still not where we ought to be as a nation compared to the region, of course. And I would say the leadership.
More women in political leadership. We need more women around the cabinet table. Ms. Martin mentioned there are 7 presently in the House of Assembly now. There's room for many more women. And I'd just like to put in a plug for, go back to the point that she raised about gender-based violence or violence in general against women.
Right.
And particularly, there are those populations that really need that special attention when you think about women and violence, and think about a woman with a disability and violence, even greater. So there's a lot to do.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us at Bahamas at Sunrise. This is such an important initiative. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So the push-to-talk device is a beautiful device. It operates on our world-class cellular network. You can take pictures, you can take videos, you can put your persons in different groups. If they want the engineering team to have a different communication than the finance team or the security team, you can do that with the push-to-talk device. And that's not something that you can actually do with a regular communications radio device. We have several different types of devices. There's the 380, the 580 plus, and then there's the 590 plus, which is the top of the line device.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller. until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
Welcome back. The Bahamas Historical Society has been hosting a year of celebration towards the 50th anniversary of our nation's independence. Here to give us an update on the activities is Andrea Major, President of the Bahamas Historical Society. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here, and the Bahamas Historical Society is alive and well.
Alive and well.
Though lacking
volunteers
and lots of funds.
Well, let's
we're
dig
appealing
into
to
it.
the public today to come alongside us. We have so many things that we want to do, but we do need the funds. The main thing is to put up a ramp for the physically challenged. That's going to cost about $5,000. So if we have 5 people giving us $1,000 each for life membership, that's a done deal.
Done deal, right? And I know our viewers, they're ready and they're waiting because they always support our guests who come on the show.
Right.
So you said Bahamas Historical Society is back. It's alive and well.
Yes.
So you're fully open to the public?
We're fully open to the public. We're open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And as soon as we get more volunteers, we'll be open until 4 p.m.
Awesome.
But for now, we're open from 10 a.m. to 3. The cruise ship passengers are really coming back, and they're enjoying what they see. And of course, the Bahamas Historical Society tells the history of the Bahamas through pictures, through documentaries, photographs, and of course, artifacts and eco-facts. And if you come there, you will probably find some things you didn't know about the Bahamas. So please come.
I'm sure I will.
All right.
Bahamas Historical Society does such great work.
Yes.
And it's always good for us to be refreshed because there's always ongoing research, there's new discoveries. So tell us, what are some of the exhibits that we can see there?
Some of the exhibits, of course, we have, well, I think the latest one would have been the postcards of the Bahamas. We have a whole selection of them. There are about 50 of them in one place. And then, of course, we have the exhibits from the World War I, which we might have mentioned before, but of course, we just passed this Poppy Day on Sunday, and so many people were interested in that. Of course, you know, we had soldiers in World War I and World War II. But coming up on the 10th of December, we're going to have a book sale as a fundraiser for the Bahamas Historical Society. Our journals from 1979 to 2021. Those journals are going to be on sale. We're appealing to teachers especially because many teachers are preparing for the BJC, BGCSE, and many of the topics that they have on the syllabus, we have those stories. So come and get those books while they're marked down. As I say, that's going to be on the 10th of December from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll also have open house so people who have not been there can explore the museum at that time. So come and get those books. Otherwise, you can buy a whole set of them. You can buy the whole kit and caboodle.
Why not?
Yeah, you can buy a whole set, or you can just come and buy one or two that you need. What we're going to do is post all of the indices online so that you can come and you can beforehand, you can see what's in the journals, you'll know what you want, and then you can save some time like that.
It definitely is a valuable resource.
Yes.
You know, growing up, I would have had the full set of the Encyclopedia Britannica, you know, all these elaborate dictionaries. I remember using the Bahamas Handbook for my little school projects. But now we have the Bahamas Historical Society journals, which would have a different wider breadth of information when it comes to our history in the Bahamas.
All about the history of the
and
Bahamas.
just lots of things we don't know. So that's a great resource.
Yes.
So you gave a lecture last night, right?
Yes.
Tell us how people can access it and what it was about.
Okay, that was Godfrey Enyas, Dr. Godfrey Enyas. He gave the lecture, and his book, it's on the road to a forgotten sea. The book is over there. But anyway, yes, so we are by Zoom and in-house. Many people wanted to come in-house, and some people are doing it by Zoom. Of course, the Zoom is excellent for our overseas members, because we have a lot of members overseas, and happy Thanksgiving to them. And of course, we have a lot of Bahamian members who are older now who don't like to come out in the evening. Because, you know, it's dark at 6 o'clock when we start.
I don't even like to go in the evening. I think I ain't there yet, right?
But we have the Zoom call numbers, and you can go on our website, www.thebahamashistoricalsociety.org. That's the website, www.thebahamashistoricalsociety.org. Or the email is thebahamashistoricalsociety@gmail.com.
Are there other lectures available online?
Yes. All the lectures are available online from way back, so you can go to YouTube, and when you go online, you can go to that link where we've had the lectures, and many of them are recorded, always on some great aspect of Bahamian history.
Once again, another valuable resource for those of us who might still be in school, those who are still learning. You can learn something new every day. So we're talking about the 50th anniversary of independence for the Bahamas. What does the Bahamas Historical Society have planned?
Well, I have a plan, but we are meeting in about 2 weeks with the executive board to finalize these plans. But we have so many resources that we've never used, and we need to, on different aspects of not only New Providence, but the whole Bahamas. I'd like to do a kaleidoscope of Rosin Square over time, Bay Street over time, Over the Hill over time, and just put up those special exhibits. But we'll come back to you with more on what we will do specifically for the 50th after we've met with our body.
That definitely sounds exciting.
But also, we have been, of course, we'll always have something to do with the young people. They are our present and our future. So in July, we would normally take on students. We had 8 students the whole month. And of course, they help us and we help them. Some of them doing community service, and some, of course, came through the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. We are very grateful for them. They worked extremely well. We just had 2 students the last holiday when they had the Monday and Friday off. 2 young boys came in, young men I should say, and they helped us tremendously. So we love the young people. We normally take them in the Easter break and in July because we have to pay attention to them.
And it's important for them.
Yes.
Important for their development.
And for us.
And for us, right? Continuity.
They do a lot of work for us. As a matter of fact, they help to do an inventory of the books so that we know what we have to sell and we know what we're selling.
Remind us the importance of the Bahamas Historical Society and what we can do as everyday citizens to help.
Okay. To help, you can support our fundraisers. Early next year, we're going to be looking at a raffle. We're going to be having a raffle. Once a year, we also have a luncheon. We're going to have it this year now that COVID is over. So it'll probably be in May. And of course, those dates will come out. So we'd like people to support that. That's a very big event. And of course, we have the, just come to the museum. Come to the museum, visit the museum, become members.
Yes.
Okay, become members of the museum, give donations.
Yes.
Because we can't stop history. We really can't. I mean, we know there are a lot of needs in the country, and we give to those needs. We can all give to those needs, but also give to history. Now, let me tell you how important we are to the international community. The world comes to us, truly. And we are the best example of any museum for the world to come to.
I love it. I love it.
The cruise ships, they come in. As a matter of fact, someone came in last week and they said, well, when they come in, I'll say, good morning, good afternoon, welcome to the Bahamas. Are you here to the museum? Many times they're looking for the steps. So we get that out. Yes. Are you Andrea? I said, yes. I say, how do you know my name? You have good reviews on TripAdvisor, and we came looking for you.
That's great.
So we have to present ourselves as that friendly people to the world, knowledgeable people. They come in there, they're looking for information, and we give them a variety of the things that they can find in the Bahamas, not just New Providence. We talk about the Blue Hole, we talk about the landmarks in the Bahamas, and we talk about how they can assist. Many of them give good donations, but we need our people to buy into it. We need younger people to come on board and to bring us into that digital age.
Yes. So tell us about your need for volunteers.
Yes, we need volunteers, and the volunteers we need volunteers, but we need volunteers who are genuinely interested in people, love people, because they say the world has come to us. And the impression that we make on locals and international people could be devastating to the country if we do not do well.
Right.
So, of course, I can do that. I am a person who trains people to meet people and to have good interpersonal skills. But we do need money. We really need money and manpower. We don't have any men.
Oh, well, we got to fix that. So if anyone wanted to reach out, to donate, to volunteer, to buy a journal, to find out more information about the Bahamas Historical Society, how do they reach you?
They can call 322-4231 from 10 to 3. I'm usually there until 4, but say 10 to 3. 322-4231. Presently, most days I'm the only one there. So if you call, the answering machine should pick up. If I'm doing a tour, I don't pick up normally because I have to finish the tour. Or you can call 439-0263. That's my cell. Okay, for now, I'll use that. 429-0263. No, 439-0263. I'm sorry, I don't even know my own cell number.
That's all right, we can find you.
Yeah, but we really need people to come alongside and to help, and we need people to come and volunteer so that we can keep the doors open, we can keep costs down. To hire 2 people, would change our status. In the sense we are a non-profit, educational, cultural organization, and we go back to our mandate to make sure that we're being true to our cause. Okay, so we invite people to come, to apply to come and volunteer. Come in and see what we're doing. Come to the open house on the 10th of December. Buy your journals, teachers especially. Tune in, and we're gonna, as I said, we're gonna go to the website www.thebahamashistoricalsociety.org, or you can email it at thebahamashistoricalsociety@gmail.com. and you'll get a response.
Perfect.
Yes.
Andrea Major, we always love having you on the show. Talking about the Bahamas Historical Society, we can definitely feel the passion you have for Bahamian history, and anyone that comes and works there should feel that, get that training. I'm sure it's a wonderful experience. Maybe I need to come and volunteer one of these days and bring in a crew of people, right?
Set the date. Which day do you want to come?
We're coming on the 10th.
Very good.
So I'd like to thank you again for coming on the show this morning and talking about the Bahamas Historical Society. And we wish you the best of luck in your preparations for the 50th anniversary of independence celebrations and everything else that's going on with the society.
We will come back with all of that to you because we do have some plans, but until we meet, I don't want to talk about it.
Secret.
But,
Don't talk.
but again, we're back to having the lectures once a month.
Yep.
By Zoom and in-house.
Perfect.
So
well, we'll definitely look out for those. So thank you again for joining us on Mamas at Sunrise, and happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
You're watching Mamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Nassau Agencies Limited is pleased to announce that we are in compliance with the new Price Control Drugs Amendment Regulations 2022. We continue to cooperate with the government as they seek to bring economic relief to our citizens and residents. Nassau Agencies Limited, distributors of Nature's Bounty vitamins and minerals, nutritionals Ensure, Glucerna, beef disinfectant spray, bark insect sprays, prescription drugs, and health and beauty aids. Nassau Agencies Limited, your quality assured pharmaceutical wholesaler.
Since 1967, Freeport Oil Company Limited has been dedicated to fueling growth and prosperity in the Bahamas. We have been a constant pillar within the country, striving to invest and support our community through the best of times and the worst of times. For us, Full Call represents 21 years of strength and consistency, consistent leadership, consistent growth, consistent customer service. Through it all, we are resilient. Full Call, fueling growth for people.
One thing, two things. Blue thing, all things. Things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
And
welcome back to the show.
I like that. Welcome back to the show, right? We are here at the mid-show, and Patashay is just letting me know that she come to introduce the... Go ahead, let's do it again. I stop.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to the show.
Perfect, perfect. And we've had a great first half of the show. Patashay, tell me, who did you interview?
So I interviewed Ms. Martin and Symonette from the Department of Gender Studies.
Okay.
And you know, I don't know if you know this, but it took about 20 years after women got the right to vote for there to be a woman in Parliament. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Well, a lot of that,
though.
we have 7 now, which is great. We're making progress, but of course, I think there could be more.
Her unbiased opinion.
Might be slightly biased.
But that definitely was a great segment that spoke to the importance of the women in our country, the important roles that they play. And while I was shouting out great women, I got to shout out. First, we're going to shout out Star, Anastasia Palacios. Her birthday was this week. So happy birthday, Star.
Happy birthday.
I saw the photos. You're in Egypt by the Giza pyramids on horseback.
Did you see the one with the horse?
Oh man, that was just like,
gosh.
Print that out now and put that on the magazine. I love it. So happy birthday, Star. Wishing you many more laps around the sun. And also got to shout out my friend Lakeisha Anderson. She is the new executive director of the Bahamas National Trust. Congratulations. That is a well-deserved role. She spent a number of years at the BNT. She's a wonderful professional, a great practitioner of conservation, and she's definitely going to lead that organization to higher heights. So congratulations, Lakeisha. Run the thing.
Congrats.
See the woman them running everything now?
Love that.
Woman them running everything, we love it. So we got more stuff coming up in our second half. We'll hear a portion of the presentation given by Randol Dorsett of Doctors Hospital at the Long Island Business Outlook that happened yesterday.
And Zhivargo Laing will join us with some perspective on what the collapse of FTX means to the Bahamas. But now, let's take a second look at the weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Patty Jane. Good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at the weather, Sunrise, the countdown to the end of the tropical cyclone season. 12 more days left in the 2022 tropical cyclone season. The tropics remain quiet and tropical cyclone formation expected during the next 5 days. On the local scene, that frontal boundary just south of New Providence will oscillate north and south over the next couple of days, causing some cloudy periods with some showers and possible thunderstorms. In the marine forecast today, those winds north to northeast at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet of northwest Bahamas, northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet, or the central Bahamas, and northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet, or the southeastern islands. On Saturday, those winds northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet, or northwest Bahamas, easterly at 15 knots, 3 to 5 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Come Sunday, those winds north to northeast at 15 to 20 knots, 3 to 4 to 6 feet over the northwest Bahamas, easterly at 15 knots, 3 to 5 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a low tide at 9 a.m. this morning. Next high tide will be at 3:06 this afternoon. Low gain tonight at 9:31. Sunset will be at 5:20 this evening. Rises tomorrow at 6:28. UV index 8. Your water temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase last quarter. As usual weekend, some cloudy periods, some periods of showers and possible thunderstorms. Not a washout for anybody, but it will cause some problems during the daytime. We're going to look at the variable cloudiness for the weekend. Still a little breezy with some showers, light thunderstorms. So temperature daytime will be in the mid-80s, at nighttime in the lower 70s. You guys in Grand Bahama could go into the upper 60s. That puts you up on your fun look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Patty J.
Thanks, Godfrey. Doctors Hospital Health System has several exciting programs to train students for the career in healthcare and their strategy to grow specialists. Chief Legal Officer Randol Dorsett spoke about this at the Long Island Business Outlook yesterday. Here's a portion of his address.
The Bridge to the Future program is a program that is now celebrating its 6th year of impacting the lives of high school students throughout the Bahamas. The initiative firstly began as a means of engaging students interested in science, technology, engineering, and math subjects. And its main goal is to encourage and inspire the next generation of healthcare professionals. And we have expanded the program, and we now have 2 tracks for the Bridge to the Future program. The first track is our STEM program, which is a 1-year program. And the program sets out to increase the appreciation for science, technology, engineering, and math subjects among high school students with the goal of uncovering the next generation of healthcare professionals. And we have selected students for this program to have an opportunity to get behind the scenes, to look at the science and technology involved in healthcare, as well as unprecedented access to key healthcare professionals. Additionally, they will learn more about engineering and innovation, which aids problem solving in the healthcare field. The second track under our Bridge to the Future program is our nursing cadet program, also geared towards high school students. And the program is focused towards students who are interested in a career in the nursing profession. Selected participants will spend the remainder of their high school careers in the program, and during that time, they'll be exposed to academic and clinical nursing education and will participate in clinical activities and outreach. After graduating from high school, students who want to remain interested in the program can enroll in the nursing program, and Doctors Hospital fronts the tuition for that. And the nurses have an option of signing a bond, which means that they would have a guaranteed job within the health system following graduation. From this program, we're happy to report that in August of this year, Doctors Hospital hired 8 newly graduated registered nurses from our scholarship and bond program. So we see most definitely that it is a very rewarding program for us. It's important to note that we also offer bonds to persons who have not gone through our cadets program, as well as in certain select situations where nursing students are bonded in the public system, we offer to pay off those bonds if they choose and want to work with us here within the health system. So we're very, very excited about that opportunity for high school students and for students out of high school who want to get into the nursing program. And then for students who want to go off to university or college, we're very, very pleased with our efforts coming out of the Doctors Hospital Meyer Razin Foundation, which was established in 1999. The foundation has pledged its commitment to ensuring that deserving Bahamian students have a chance at pursuing and realizing their educational dreams through financial assistance. Most of these awards are renewable each year for graduate and undergraduate students. The purpose of the foundation is to positively affect our community by offering financial assistance to students pursuing careers in healthcare. Since inception, the foundation has invested well over $1.3 million in 124 students. And out of those 124 students, 103 have returned home and are now employed with Doctors Hospital. So again, we're very, very, very excited about the opportunities here with the Doctors Hospital Horizon Foundation, and really want to encourage persons to get involved with these activities and so that we could be of assistance. And then if you are at university or college and you have, you're enrolled in a healthcare study, then our STEP program is for you. And so this is for students who are studying towards a degree in healthcare and then a unique opportunity to experience a hospital setting up close. During a month-long rotation, tertiary level students meet and learn from professionals already working in the hospital, and they learn more about the specific field they're interested in and are exposed to other areas that may be of assistance to them. So STEP is an acronym for the Student Temporary Employment Program. And like I said, that's for students who are already involved and who want a practical side of things. Next is our GLOW Journey to Best initiative, which is an initiative, and really it's the brainchild of our president and CEO, Dr. Charles Digges. And it gives associates within the organization an opportunity to participate in various interactive leadership seminars, which focus on the health system's core values. The president and CEO takes a leading and active part in the activities, and his leadership lectures are always well received. And so the acronym GLOW represents Grow, Learn, Outreach, Wow. And these are the guiding principles that steer the health system on its journey to being the best healthcare system in the region. And then we have our organizational learning department. And we believe that continued learning is integral to our mission of meeting and exceeding the healthcare needs of our patients. Our organizational learning department conducts training courses targeting both current healthcare professionals and those interested in pursuing a career in healthcare. Doctors Hospital has been recognized by NACOB to offer various courses for international certification. And all of the courses that you will see here would bear that certification. So that's advanced cardiovascular life support, basic life support, CPR, CPR AED first aid, our ECG program, our intravenous insertion program. And here we have the pediatric advanced life support, patient care technician, phlebotomy, medical terminology, and certified medical administrator, just to name a few. And these programs have really been a success for us. Notably, in September of this year, we launched our third EMT, Emergency Medical Technician Student Program, which had 24 students. And we're happy to report that 2 of those students were from Long Island. And we launched our CPR first aid course for Long Island, which I think was completed back in June of this year, June 22nd. And 19 persons attended that course, and all were successful in completing the course, so all Long Islanders. And so we're very, very pleased about that. And indeed, during our next Certified Medical Assistant program, which is in February of 2023, we plan to enroll at least 2 students from Long Island with the hopes of, again, building the capacity for healthcare-related workers on the island. And I'm also pleased to announce tomorrow, we will be continuing with our commitment to Long Island, and we'll be making a presentation of some much needed emergency resuscitation equipment. We'll be dedicating at least 2 portable AEDs, automated external defibrillators, at least 2 folding backboards, and 2 emergency bags. So we're very, very happy with our commitment generally, and particularly in this case, you see to Long Island. And finally, just to talk a bit about our Doctors Hospital, the Institute of Learning. This is an excerpt from a ZNS take on the matter, which was back in July of this year. And an expert from the article reads as follows: Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Michael Darwell, delivered congratulatory remarks during the inaugural commencement ceremony for over 100 graduates of the Institute of Learning at Doctors Hospital. The event was held at Evangelistic Temple, July 4th, 2022. The ceremony was held under the themes Scholars Today, Leaders Tomorrow. Also in attendance was Minister of Education and Technical Vocational Training, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin. And so you see, we really have gone the length of putting our money where our mouth is. We're very, very dedicated to growing talent within the Bahamas, about offering the resources that are needed so that Bahamians can join the healthcare field. But the reality is this, notwithstanding all of our investment, we're still going to have a deficit. We're still going to have a shortage. And so we have to continue to do all that we can to deliver these necessary healthcare services to the Bahamian people. So we do invest in Bahamian talent. We invest in bringing Bahamians home. But at times we also have to bring in foreigners to deliver necessary key medical services to the Bahamas. But we want that all to be in its proper context. We're now running probably in excess of $200,000 a year in terms of our monetary dedication to these programs. And we're really, really committed to seeing it all a success. So ladies and gentlemen, as we invest in the capacity needed to deliver the healthcare services that the Bahamian public deserves and needs, our goal is simple. We're going to be the best place for you to work, the best place for you to access and receive healthcare services, and the best place for you to invest your money.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Welcome back. The failure of Bahamas-based FTX last week is eroding market confidence and triggering fears that the collapse will spread across the industry. Here to give us some perspective on this is Zhivargo Laing, Executive Director and Senior Policy Fellow of the Government and Public Policy Institute at the University of the Bahamas. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise, Mr. Laing.
Good morning, and it's good to be here.
Thank you for being here. We always appreciate your insight, your input, and your wisdom. So tell us, what does the FTX collapse mean to the Bahamas?
Well, whenever you have an entity as prominent and as well known as FTX in a particular sector collapse the way it has, the extent to which it's in your jurisdiction is going to pose some reputational concerns, let's say it that way, for you. Now, how that plays out really depends on how you are perceived as first a regulator of that entity during the course of its operations, and then how you respond to the crisis when it arises. And so I think we have yet to see the extent to which that will all play out. But I think there's no question the Bahamas will have some questions to answer and some work to do to ensure that this doesn't become one of those really hard hits to its economy and reputation.
Is the cryptocurrency market in trouble because of the FTX collapse?
I think that the FTX collapse adds to its troubles. I think it's been in trouble for a while because a great deal of the euphoria that attended the current cryptocurrency industry for some time now has begun to subside. People are starting to ask hard questions about the sector and really what is the value of this cryptocurrency that was being propped up so much. And I think the answer is we're not so sure. And I think that's caused some concern. So this now will hit that, even though at the base of it, the issue is in cryptocurrency.
So the Bahamas has been touted for its groundbreaking legislation, digital assets legislation, the DARE Act. Did that protect us in this instance?
Well, it didn't protect you from people making decisions to compromise their client assets, it would seem, in this way, and nor probably could it have done so. But the act created a framework for operation, a framework for enforcement that is solid. That's solid. But again, what happens now in terms of responding to what has taken place, it will be the real test of the act. Also, what is determined was the regulators' vigilance in monitoring the operations of this entity in the Bahamian sector.
So earlier this year, the government's digital asset policy paper came out, and it was meant to set out a vision and a framework for Bahamian digital assets in the Bahamas. So in your opinion, is our regulatory framework sufficient? And do you think there will be a review of the framework after this recent incident?
Well, I think the regulatory framework has a solid start. I think even the regulators will admit, and they were doing work towards strengthening the framework. They would admit that it needed more work because this is an evolving area. This is a really new area for the world, and so you're entering into a kind of pioneering space. And the framework was a good start. It created the impetus for a FTX and others to come to the Bahamas. But I believe anyone looking at it will have to concede that more work has to be done to ensure that the framework is able to meet the demands of this sector. But again, though, this is more than just about the regulatory framework. This is about decision making on the part of the owners and operators of this company, right? And you can have all the laws in the world you want. We have laws against murder. People still murder. It's a question of the character and judgments of the people operating in a space, regardless of your framework. And I think that's something that has to be examined in the course of all of this.
So taking everything into consideration, the legislation in place, the framework that's been released, and this most recent incident with FTX, do you consider us a solid digital asset jurisdiction?
I don't know that there's such a thing as a solid digital asset jurisdiction, because digital assets are really a very nebulous space in which to operate, right? It's got modalities that aren't tangible, that you can't go somewhere and say, I got you. The value of the assets are based on a lot of assumptions about life and the future, which is fraught with risk and uncertainty. So I don't know that there's any solid jurisdiction. I think that the best you can do is try to understand the industry as best you can, look at the risk attendant to that industry, ensure that your legislative and regulatory environment can address those risks, not eliminate them, but address those risks, and do the kind of vigilant enforcement you need to do. That's the best you can do.
Do you think this will impact us as a financial services jurisdiction?
It can, because the extent to which people identify cryptocurrency and FTX as a part of the broader financial services environment, if they believe that you have been a less than adequate jurisdiction for that, then they might translate that into your overall financial services jurisdiction. Again, my own view is that this all depends on how we respond and how we demonstrate a competency to respond going forward, and that will matter a great deal. Remember now, this is one of many such kinds of things that happen in the world, right? Maybe this is new and maybe this is very high profile, but what jurisdictions learn is you respond. You don't react, you respond, and that's important.
Well, that's definitely a valuable perspective you've given us. When we've been reading this story as it's been unfolding, it sounds almost like a movie, especially when you hear about the FTX CEO and you hear about some of the alleged things that were happening in the office. Do you think that there were warning signs about the FTX CEO that we should have paid attention to?
Oh, absolutely. I think there are many warning signs. First of all, one of the warning signs is if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. The second thing is that the meteoric rise of a 30-year-old in a very new and uncertain space should give caution to everyone in embracing that. Okay, when you consider the complexities of the hedge fund operations on the one hand, and the flat platform on the other hand, and the different risk profile of those entities, there was another flag as to, should we be cautious about this? Should we be careful to ensure that there's not going to be the kind of commingling, et cetera? I can tell you one other red flag for me. If I'm a prime minister of the Bahamas and I have an event and you show up in shorts and flip-flops and what have you, my judgment tells me your own judgment should be called into question.
I know there were a lot of people when they saw those shorts, they were a bit taken aback and might have said, oh, it's just the young people and oh, it's the culture. But I knew personally it spoke to, being aware of the cultural norms and just, showing a sign of respect to the leader of our country. And so some people I know felt a bit way about that, as you would have mentioned. So all of this has happened now, and here we are. There's lots of uncertainty about the future of FTX. But if persons are still interested in understanding crypto and investing in crypto, what do you recommend for them to, or what portal or what means do you recommend for them to learn more about investing in crypto?
I don't have advice about learning about crypto per se. I mean, there's lots of information out there, but I will say this much to you. If you don't have a 6 months to a year emergency reserve saved, if you don't have basic solid investments in stocks and bonds and real estate, things that we can grab hold of and understand, if you don't have those things in place, why are you looking at cryptocurrency? Why are you looking at one of the most speculative, unknown things to invest in because somebody told you so? Well, I have a bridge I could sell you, and if you bring me $1, I'm happy to sell you that bridge. It just doesn't make sense. It should not be a part of anybody's consideration for investing who does not have basic saving and investing portfolios in place. Shouldn't be.
Very wise words, and I think persons may have gotten caught up in the excitement, in the hype, in the newness of it, wanting to get out the gate before anyone else, trying to win big. But as you said, if you stick to your basic principles of money management, saving, and investing in tangible assets, then you should be off to a good start. And I like what you said about having that 6 months reserve. As we wrap up,
say
that again?
Put $20 in it if you feel like you have.
Yeah, save that money that you spend on your conch snack and go invest that, right? So as we wrap up, any words of advice or any words of caution, encouragement to our viewers who are paying attention to this story with FTX?
The FTX will not be the end of the Bahamas. It will not be the end of the digital sector in the Bahamas. But I do think it's a lesson in risk management. It's a lesson in, if you're not certain, if it seems too good to be true, if everybody's headed in that direction and you really don't know why, stop, pause, and chill for a while. If you wait, you'll see. Now, sometimes you can get some good opportunities, getting in there real soon. But that's because you either know or you're dealing with people who really know and you trust. But other than that, caution is the rule.
Very wise words. I feel like my Grammy on Long Island have a Bahamian proverb that sums that up. I have to look it up. But I like what you said. If it looks too good to be true, it might just be too good to be true. Probably is, right? So thank you again, Brother Zhivargo Laing, for coming on the show this morning. Executive Director and Senior Policy Fellow of the Government and Public Policy Institute at the University of the Bahamas. Always bringing us a word of wisdom, and we appreciate your time with us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
A pleasure.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, and we'll be right back. And that's going to do it for us today on Bahamas at Sunrise. We'd like to thank you again for joining us dead early on this fantastic Friday. We're always so grateful to have you join us. You can be doing anything this morning, but you're with us. So thank you so much, and you have yourself a great weekend.
Yes, and don't forget to find the sun and all that rain out there.
The sun's sitting right next to me. It's been a pleasure, Petache, and we look forward to having you on the show again.
Thank you so much. I hope to be back.
Yeah. Enjoy your weekend, folks. Go check out Jollification.
Bye.
It's happening this weekend.
See you there.